Carl Jung, the legendary Swiss psychologist, introduced profound ideas about the nature of the human psyche. One of his most powerful concepts is the collective unconscious, a deep shared reservoir of symbols, archetypes, and experiences that connects all of humanity. In this video, we will explore Jung's vision of human interconnectedness, uncovering the ways in which our minds, emotions, and even destinies are intertwined. Carl Jung believed that human beings are not isolated individuals with completely separate minds. Instead, he proposed the idea of the collective unconscious, a vast and ancient reservoir of knowledge and experience that all people share. This concept suggests that beyond our personal unconscious, which consists of our unique memories and experiences, there exists a deeper layer of the mind that is universal to all humans. It is within this collective unconscious that we find archetypes, fundamental symbols and themes that appear throughout history, mythology, religion, and dreams. Unlike personal experiences that are shaped by individual upbringing and culture, the collective unconscious is inherited. It is not something we develop over time, but rather something we are born with. Jung argued that just as the human body has evolved in a way that is common across all people, so too has the human psyche developed structures that transcend time and geography. These deep structures of the mind manifest in similar ways across different civilizations, suggesting that humanity is connected at a profound psychological level. One way to understand the collective unconscious is to observe how different cultures, completely isolated from one another, have created myths and religious stories with strikingly similar themes. Creation stories, heroic journeys, underworld descents, and wise old sages appear repeatedly in ancient civilizations. From the legends of the Greeks and the Hindus to the stories of the indigenous peoples of the Americas, these recurring narratives are not coincidences, but evidence of the shared psychological inheritance of humanity. Even though people from different parts of the world may never have interacted, their minds have produced remarkably similar symbols and ideas. Jung believed that this shared reservoir of unconscious material influences our thoughts, emotions, and behaviors in ways we may not always realize. The symbols and experiences stored in the collective unconscious emerge in dreams, visions, works of art, and even in the way societies organize themselves. When we feel an unexplained attraction or fear towards certain ideas, places, or figures, it may be because these elements are deeply embedded in our collective psyche. The collective unconscious explains why certain images evoke powerful emotions within us, even if we cannot logically explain why. It also suggests that our personal identity is part of something much larger, a vast web of human experience stretching across generations. The most fascinating aspect of the collective unconscious is that it connects us not just to people who are alive today, but to all who have come before us. Every ancestor, every civilization, and every soul that has walked the earth has contributed to this shared field of knowledge. The wisdom of the past is not lost, it is imprinted within us, waiting to be discovered through introspection, meditation, and deep self-awareness. When we access the collective unconscious, we tap into the essence of what it means to be human, revealing that we are not as separate as we might think. Another core idea in Jung's psychology is the concept of archetypes, which are universal symbols and patterns that reside within the collective unconscious. Archetypes shape human thought, emotion, and behavior, influencing everything from the stories we tell to the roles we play in life. These recurring figures and themes appear in myths, dreams, religious traditions, and cultural narratives, reflecting the shared structure of the human psyche. One of the most well-known archetypes is the hero. Found in legends across the world, the hero embarks on a journey of transformation, facing trials and challenges before emerging wiser and stronger. Whether it is Hercules, King Arthur, or modern superheroes like Spider-Man and Wonder Woman, the hero represents the innate human drive toward growth, resilience, and self-discovery. This archetype reflects the struggles we all face in our personal lives, from overcoming fears to striving toward a meaningful goal. Another powerful archetype is the shadow, which represents the hidden and often darker aspects of our personality. The shadow contains traits that we deny or repress, such as anger, jealousy, or selfishness. Because these traits are difficult to accept, we often project them onto others, seeing in them the flaws we refuse to acknowledge in ourselves. Recognizing the shadow is an essential part of personal growth, as it allows us to integrate and accept all aspects of who we are rather than suppressing them. The wise old man and wise old woman archetypes symbolize guidance, wisdom, and insight. These figures appear in myths as mentors and sages, such as Merlin in Arthurian legends or Yoda in Star Wars. They represent the deep knowledge that comes with experience and the ability to see beyond immediate concerns to understand life's greater meaning. In times of uncertainty, people often seek the guidance of such figures, whether in real life or through literature and philosophy. The anima and animus are archetypes that represent the feminine and masculine aspects within every individual. Jung believed that men carry an inner feminine side, anima, while women carry an inner masculine side, animus. Integrating these aspects allows for psychological wholeness, fostering a balance between logic and intuition, strength and compassion. When these aspects remain unconscious, they can lead to distorted relationships, unrealistic expectations, and internal conflict. However, when acknowledged and embraced, they contribute to a more complete and harmonious sense of self. The archetypes extend beyond individual psychology and shape entire societies. Cultural heroes, myths, and religious figures are all expressions of archetypal themes. They provide a sense of meaning and connection, linking people across time and space. The same themes that guided ancient civilizations continue to influence modern life, showing that humanity's inner world has not changed as much as we might think. By understanding archetypes, we gain insight into our own behavior and the world around us. They reveal why we are drawn to certain stories, why we instinctively recognize particular roles in society, and why patterns repeat across generations. More importantly, they remind us that we are not isolated beings, but part of a much larger, interconnected human experience. The symbols and figures that appear in our dreams and stories are not just personal fantasies. They are expressions of something much greater, linking us to the vast web of the collective unconscious. Synchronicity is one of Carl Jung's most intriguing and mysterious concepts, suggesting that events are not always linked by cause and effect, but can be meaningfully connected through deeper unseen forces. It is the idea that coincidences may not be random at all, but instead part of an invisible web that unites people, thoughts, and experiences in ways that transcend our understanding of time and space. Unlike traditional scientific explanations that focus on direct causation, synchronicity challenges us to consider that events can be connected by meaning rather than by physical interactions. Jung first developed the idea of synchronicity while working with patients who reported strange and seemingly impossible coincidences. One famous example occurred during a therapy session when a patient described a dream about a golden scarab, a symbol of transformation in Egyptian mythology. At that exact moment, a real scarab beetle, a species rarely found in that region, flew into the room and tapped against the window. Jung was struck by the timing of this event, realizing that the beetle's appearance was not just a random occurrence, but a meaningful connection between the patient's inner world and external reality. This moment helped the patient break through a psychological barrier, reinforcing Jung's belief that the psyche and the external world are mysteriously linked. Synchronicity often manifests in everyday life through strange coincidences that seem too perfect to be chance. Many people have had experiences where they were thinking about an old friend they had not seen in years, only to receive a phone call or message from them later that day. Others have stumbled upon exactly the right book, phrase, or person at a crucial moment, as if the universe had aligned circumstances to deliver a message. While skeptics may dismiss these occurrences as pure chance, Jung believed they were evidence of an underlying order in the universe, one that science has yet to fully understand. One of the most compelling aspects of synchronicity is its connection to human intuition and the unconscious mind. Many synchronous events appear to reflect deep emotional or psychological states, as if our inner world is being mirrored by the outer world. For example, someone going through a period of deep self-discovery may repeatedly encounter symbols of transformation, such as butterflies, serpents, or phoenix imagery, even in unrelated situations. These symbols are not merely coincidences, but reflections of the individual's inner journey. Jung suggested that synchronicity may be tied to the collective unconscious, meaning that these meaningful coincidences are not just personal, but linked to something far greater than the individual mind. The patterns we see in synchronistic experiences often align with archetypal themes: love, death, rebirth, destiny, that have shaped human consciousness for centuries. The more attuned we become to these connections, the more we may begin to see that life is not a series of random events, but an interconnected dance of meaning and purpose. Another fascinating aspect of synchronicity is how it often occurs during times of emotional intensity, crisis, or transformation. People who are grieving, going through major life changes, or experiencing deep introspection frequently report uncanny coincidences. This suggests that synchronicity is not just a passive phenomenon, but may actually respond to states of mind, acting as a bridge between the internal and external worlds. It raises the possibility that consciousness itself is not confined to the brain, but is part of a larger field of reality that influences events in mysterious ways. Synchronicity also appears in the realms of creativity and scientific discovery. Many great inventors, writers, and scientists have described moments of insight that arrived through what seemed like an external force guiding them. The discovery of the structure of benzene, for example, was inspired by a dream of a snake biting its own tail, an ancient archetypal symbol. Similarly, many groundbreaking artistic and musical compositions have come to their creators in flashes of inspiration, often through coincidental encounters with ideas or symbols that seem to emerge at just the right time. These moments suggest that the mind is not operating in isolation, but is somehow tapped into a greater flow of knowledge and inspiration. Jung's concept of synchronicity also resonates with ancient spiritual traditions, which have long suggested that reality is interconnected in ways beyond physical causation. Many mystical traditions, from Buddhism to indigenous shamanism, speak of an invisible web that links all things. The Taoist principle of the Tao, for instance, describes a natural order that flows through all of existence, guiding events in ways that are beyond logical comprehension. Likewise, the Hindu concept of karma implies that actions and intentions create ripples in the fabric of reality, shaping future events in non-linear ways. If synchronicity is real, it suggests that life is far more mysterious and interconnected than we often assume. It challenges the notion that we are isolated beings moving through a mechanical universe, and instead points to a reality where meaning is woven into the fabric of existence itself. It invites us to pay closer attention to the signs, patterns, and coincidences in our lives, not as mere accidents, but as clues to a deeper intelligence at work. For those who are open to it, synchronicity can become a guide, offering reassurance, insight, and even a sense of purpose. By recognizing these meaningful coincidences, we begin to see life as a dialogue rather than a series of disconnected events. Whether through dreams, sudden insights, or unexpected encounters, synchronicity reminds us that we are part of something vast and interconnected, where every thought, emotion, and experience is linked in ways beyond our understanding. Individuation is one of the most important concepts in Carl Jung's psychology, representing the lifelong journey of integrating all aspects of the self into a unified and whole individual. It is the process of becoming one's true self by bringing the unconscious into consciousness, balancing the different parts of the psyche, and transcending the limitations imposed by societal conditioning. Jung believed that individuation is not just a psychological necessity, but a spiritual journey, one that allows a person to discover their deeper nature and live in harmony with both their inner world and the outer world. At the core of individuation is the idea that every person possesses both a conscious identity, the ego, and a vast unconscious realm filled with forgotten memories, suppressed emotions, and hidden potentials. Most people live their lives identifying only with the ego, the part of the self that is shaped by external influences such as family, culture, and social expectations. While the ego is necessary for navigating the world, it is only a fragment of the full personality. Without deeper self-exploration, individuals remain disconnected from their true nature, leading to feelings of incompleteness, confusion, or even existential suffering. Individuation requires one to confront the unconscious and integrate its contents, rather than repress or ignore them. This journey often begins with a crisis or turning point in life, such as a loss, a period of deep questioning, or an overwhelming sense of dissatisfaction. When the ego's current identity is no longer sufficient, the unconscious begins to surface, bringing with it dreams, symbols, and experiences that demand attention. This is when the process of individuation truly begins. The individual must now embark on an inner journey to understand these messages and integrate them into a fuller, more authentic self. One of the first challenges in the individuation process is encountering the shadow. The shadow represents the hidden aspects of the personality that have been denied, repressed, or ignored. These may include emotions such as anger, jealousy, selfishness, or even undeveloped talents and desires that contradict one's social persona. Because the shadow is uncomfortable to confront, many people project it onto others, seeing in them the faults and qualities they refuse to acknowledge in themselves. However, Jung emphasized that true growth comes from integrating the shadow rather than denying it. Only by recognizing and accepting these hidden parts can a person become psychologically whole. The next stage of individuation involves encountering the anima or animus, the inner feminine aspect in men and the inner masculine aspect in women. Jung believed that both masculine and feminine energies exist within every individual, and balancing these energies is essential for psychological completeness. If the anima or animus remains unconscious, it often manifests in distorted ways, leading to unrealistic expectations in relationships or difficulties in connecting with others on a deep level. A man who has not integrated his anima may struggle with emotional depth, while a woman who has not integrated her animus may find it difficult to assert herself with confidence. By embracing these inner energies, an individual can develop a more balanced and harmonious personality. As the process of individuation continues, the individual begins to move beyond rigid identifications with roles and external expectations. They become less influenced by societal norms and more attuned to their inner calling. This stage is often marked by a growing interest in spirituality, philosophy, creativity, or self-expression. Many people who undergo individuation find themselves drawn to art, mythology, meditation, or nature, as these provide gateways to deeper self-discovery. The symbols and archetypes that emerge in dreams and imagination serve as guides, revealing hidden truths about the self and the universe. The final stages of individuation lead toward the realization of the self, the fully integrated and whole being that transcends the limitations of the ego. The self is not merely an improved version of the individual, but a deeper, more profound connection to the totality of existence. Jung described the self as the center of the psyche, representing a union between the conscious and unconscious mind, the personal and the collective, the human and the divine. When a person reaches this stage, they experience a deep sense of inner peace, purpose, and connection to something greater than themselves. However, individuation is not a one-time event, but an ongoing process that unfolds throughout life. Each challenge, conflict, or new experience presents an opportunity to deepen self-awareness and integrate new aspects of the psyche. Unlike the modern idea of self-improvement, which often focuses on achieving external success or fixing perceived flaws, individuation is about embracing all aspects of oneself, the light and the dark, the known and the unknown. It is a process of becoming whole rather than striving for perfection. One of the greatest rewards of individuation is the ability to live authentically, free from the constraints of societal expectations and unconscious conditioning. Individuals who have undergone this process radiate a sense of confidence and inner stability because they are no longer at war with themselves. They are able to navigate life's difficulties with greater wisdom and resilience, recognizing that every experience, whether joyful or painful, is part of their greater journey toward wholeness. Individuation also has profound implications for relationships and society as a whole. When individuals become more integrated and self-aware, they no longer project their unresolved issues onto others. They develop deeper empathy and understanding, fostering more genuine and meaningful connections. Jung believed that collective healing begins with individual transformation. When enough people undertake the journey of individuation, society itself begins to evolve toward greater consciousness and harmony. Throughout history, many spiritual traditions have described similar processes of self-realization, from the alchemical transformation of the soul to the enlightenment sought in Eastern philosophies. Jung saw these traditions as reflections of the same universal journey, the quest to unite the fragmented aspects of the self and reconnect with the deeper truths of existence. In this sense, individuation is not just a psychological process, but a sacred one, offering a path toward greater self-awareness, wisdom, and ultimately a profound sense of unity with the world. For those who embark on the path of individuation, the journey is not always easy. It requires courage, self-honesty, and a willingness to face the unknown. But the rewards are immeasurable. To individuate is to step into one's full potential, to transcend limiting beliefs, and to experience life as a continuous unfolding of self-discovery. It is through this journey that one realizes they are not merely a collection of thoughts and experiences, but part of a much greater, interconnected whole. Love and human relationships play a central role in Carl Jung's understanding of psychological wholeness and connection. He believed that relationships are not just social or emotional experiences, but profound encounters with the deeper aspects of the self. Every meaningful relationship, whether romantic, familial, or platonic, serves as a mirror, reflecting parts of ourselves that we may not fully understand. Through these connections, we are given opportunities to grow, heal, and uncover the hidden aspects of our psyche. One of Jung's most important insights into relationships is the idea of projection. When we meet someone, especially in romantic relationships, we often project our unconscious desires, fears, and unresolved emotions onto them. This is particularly true when it comes to the archetypes of the anima and animus. A man may see in a woman the embodiment of his ideal feminine qualities, not realizing that he is projecting his own inner anima onto her. Likewise, a woman may project her animus onto a man, believing he possesses strength, wisdom, or power that she feels she lacks within herself. These projections create intense attraction, but also deep misunderstandings, as the person being idealized can never fully embody what the other expects them to be. The early stages of love often feel magical because they awaken parts of the unconscious that have been dormant. When we fall in love, we are not just connecting with another person, but also encountering aspects of our own psyche that we have neglected. This is why love can feel so transformative. It brings us face to face with our deepest fears and longings. However, if individuals remain unconscious of their projections, love can also lead to disappointment and disillusionment. The initial idealization fades, and reality sets in, revealing both the strengths and weaknesses of the other person. Many relationships suffer at this stage because people mistake the loss of projection for the loss of love. In truth, this is where real love begins. The moment when two people see each other not as idealized figures, but as real, complex individuals with their own struggles and wounds. Jung believed that true love is not about possession or dependence, but about individuation within the relationship. A healthy relationship allows both individuals to grow into their fullest selves without losing their unique identities. Instead of seeking completion in the other, each person takes responsibility for their own inner work, recognizing that their partner is not responsible for fulfilling every emotional need. When both individuals are engaged in their own individuation process, the relationship becomes a space for mutual transformation rather than a place of unconscious expectation. Friendships and family relationships also play a crucial role in psychological development. The dynamics we experience with parents and siblings often shape our unconscious patterns in adulthood. Many of the conflicts we encounter in relationships can be traced back to unresolved issues from childhood, such as the need for validation, fear of abandonment, or struggles with authority. Recognizing these patterns allows individuals to break free from repeating the same emotional cycles and engage in relationships with greater awareness. In addition to personal relationships, Jung explored the idea of love as a universal force that transcends individual connections. He saw love as an archetype, an eternal principle that exists beyond any one relationship. This is why love is often described in mystical terms as something that cannot be fully defined yet is deeply felt. Many spiritual traditions echo this idea, describing love as the fundamental energy that binds the universe together. Jung believed that when individuals connect with this deeper dimension of love, they experience a profound sense of unity with all of existence. This is what many mystics and sages throughout history have described as divine love, an all-encompassing, unconditional force that goes beyond personal attachments. Love also has the power to heal. Jung saw relationships as a means of psychological and spiritual healing, as they reveal wounds that need to be addressed. When two people come together in an authentic and conscious way, they can support each other in facing their fears, integrating their shadows, and embracing their true selves. However, love's healing power is only possible when both individuals are willing to look inward and take responsibility for their own growth. Relationships that are based on blame, control, or avoidance only deepen unconscious wounds rather than heal them. The journey of love is not limited to romantic partnerships or personal connections. It extends to a broader sense of compassion and interconnectedness with humanity as a whole. Jung recognized that as individuals evolve, their capacity for love also expands. Love shifts from being merely a personal need to a deeper recognition of the shared human experience. This is why individuals who undergo deep psychological transformation often feel a strong sense of empathy and responsibility toward others. They recognize that just as they have faced their own struggles, so too has every other person. This understanding leads to a more inclusive and compassionate way of relating to the world. Jung also believed that love is one of the greatest mysteries of life, an experience that cannot be fully explained by reason alone. It operates beyond logic, appearing in unexpected ways and defying conventional explanations. Many people have encountered moments of profound connection that seem to transcend time and space, whether through synchronicity, dreams, or an unexplainable bond with another person. These experiences suggest that love is not just an emotional state, but a force that operates at a deeper level of reality, connecting us all in ways we do not yet fully understand. Ultimately, love is one of the most powerful expressions of the interconnected nature of existence. It reminds us that we are not isolated individuals, but part of a vast and intricate web of relationships, emotions, and experiences that transcend personal identity. Whether through romantic love, friendships, family, or a broader sense of compassion for all living beings, love serves as a bridge between the conscious and unconscious, the personal and the collective, the individual and the divine. To love deeply is to embrace the unknown, to step beyond the limits of the ego, and to open oneself to the greater mystery of existence. It is through love that we come to realize our shared humanity, our deepest truths, and the profound ways in which we are all connected.